Hello, my friends. I'm Vineet here from WiByte, and this video I'm going to talk to you about the WiByte Project Showcase. Now, I'm going to tell you about what the showcase is, why it is done, and what is it that we expect from the students and all the visitors in this showcase. So let's see what is the Project Showcase. Now, I'm going to talk about this with respect to the course curriculum, course structure that we follow. We have multiple courses, but the broad structure we follow is that we have an orientation and then we have a marathon of projects, which means that for the next 8 to 9 weeks, we have a class, students doing a project, we evaluate those projects and so on. In between, of course, we have the midterm and the end of term quiz. And then finally, the last session of the course is typically a project showcase. Now, project showcase is the time for us to remember what we have done in this class, to sort of make some let's say reflection on what has been happening, and sort of project to present our work to the entire world, right? And as you write here, project showcase is typically an open house event, so we invite other students to join in. We also invite sometimes our other friends and let's say associates to come in and take a look at what we are doing. And likewise, in case you want to invite your friends and relatives to join in, you are most welcome to do so, because this is really sort of showcase of whatever we have been doing together. Yeah. So let's see. Why do we do this showcase, right? Like I said, this is an opportunity for students to present their work in a crisp and clear way, right? Now, in fact, this is an extremely important skill. It's not sufficient to just do the work, which anyway you are doing, but being able to present it, especially technical work, in a crisp, clear way is an important skill. And I think this is a great practice for that. Number two, this is an opportunity for students to give and get feedback on their work, right? So this is an open session. They present their work. Other students and other visitors look at it and they sometimes share their thoughts. So it's again a great opportunity. And finally, an opportunity to look back on the course. Like I said, look back at what's been happening, cherish every moment of it, and create a souvenir, because what we do from the showcase is going to last with you forever, right? So you can use it as a showcase, as a souvenir for the times to come. So how does the showcase work? Well, I'm going to divide this into three parts. What happens before the session, during the session, and after the session, so that it's clear for you. And again, this is from the student's point of view, right? So basically, what happens before the showcase is that students pick up any one project that they have done through the course, right? So it could be any project. That's okay. That's their choice. Whatever project they like, they thought was interesting, like the most interesting, but any one project, and this project must have been done during the course, right? So if you've done something elsewhere, it doesn't really fit in for this showcase, right? Pick up a project that's been done in the class and prepare a short presentation on this, right? We'll talk about this presentation in a moment, but just a short presentation which you must practice. And I cannot overemphasize the value of this, because practice is what brings crispness, clarity, and conciseness to your presentation, right? So please do practice. And all of this, like I said, happens before the session. During the session, we basically get students to share their screen. As you know, in the typical classes, students don't, unless they're consulting, they don't really share the screen. It's the teacher who shares. But here, students will share their screen. Students will present their work, and then we will have a brief question and answer session. Really, this is a showcase from the students. So they present their work, and then we have this question, answer, and feedback session. And this is where it gets quite interesting. After the session, we do some very preliminary video editing. We don't do too much, we don't disturb what you've said. Just kind of, add some bit of, let's say, the beginning and ending to it, let's say. And we upload this to social media, right? So, every showcase that we get, we upload it to social media. We also share the link with you so that you can, use this link for a future, let's say, reference, and also for, sharing with your family, friends, and so on and so forth, right? Because like I said, amongst other things, this is a memory that you take back from the course for having done all the work. This is something you're looking back at and remembering what's been happening. So it's a nice souvenir. Yeah. Now, some tips for your presentation. Now, these are important. Please pay attention to this. We have given you a structure. We are going to give you a structure which you can follow. First thing first, introduce yourself, right? As you know, you are in a group class. Your classmates are probably from completely different part of the globe. In fact, we have classes where students are sitting in multiple different countries, multiple different cities. So it's important to introduce yourself. Tell perhaps what school you go to, maybe what are your hobbies, what is something interesting about you which others may find something to, let's say, something interesting, right? Maybe spend about a minute on this, right? Then get on with your project. So tell, what does your project do? Maybe show, if it's a game, let's say in Scratch or say in Python, show the game working. So do not get into the internals yet, but just tell people what does it do, because you know the project really well, others probably do not, right? So maybe show, play the game and show, tell what is the objective of the game and so on and so forth. Maybe spend about say 2 minutes for this. And next, elaborate on say 2 to 3 important points, right? So I've said 1 to 3 key points, but really what I mean is 2 to 3 key points about the project. I mean, perhaps it could be, like if you look at the code, which part was the most interesting for you? Maybe which part was the one that was totally new to you when you did this project? Or and what other bonus ideas, for example, did you try, right? Or perhaps let's say, what are the main, let's say, characters in this game and how did you code them, right? Anything that's interesting and that is something that you learned from this project, something you remember, you could cover here, right? But I want to make one point here that's, spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes for this. uh, there's a very famous saying by a popular, very renowned author. It says that the best way to be boring is to leave nothing out, and this can't be more true in a showcase, right? I mean, sometimes when we are presenting our work, we love our work, we have spent effort on it, we want to tell everything to everybody, right? But turns out that it's actually quite boring, right? So pick up your key points, right? And that's why you need practice, because you will have to think through very carefully what is it that makes this game unique, what is it that you really liked about this game. So pick up those points and elaborate on that so that your presentation is crisp, clear, and interesting to the audience. Now, some do's and don'ts. First thing first, limit your talk to about 5 minutes, right? And we are going to we try to enforce this because otherwise it gets unruly, right? So limit your talk to about 5 minutes and leave say about 1 to 2 minutes of feedback. So per showcase, say it's about 6 to 7 minutes. This is just about nice, right? Uh, be respectful and provide constructive feedback to other students. Now, this is very important. Remember, just like you, all the students have put in a lot of effort in their work and they really did their best, right? So maybe there are suggestions, maybe the game can be improved, maybe the projects can be done differently, but let's be respectful to each other and let's provide constructive feedback. In fact, being able to provide constructive feedback that really helps is also an extremely important skill going forward, right? So, practice that. And finally, keep your screen shared until the presentation is completely over. Remember, I told you, you are going to share your screen while we record. Sometimes students tend to unshare it too fast and it looks odd because the audience loses context of what you're talking about. So keep the screen shared so that sometimes audience can ask you to show certain parts and so on and so forth, right? So that's part of feedback. So again, limit the time, be constructive, and keep your screen shared. And that's pretty much about it. In the end, this is all for the broad theme that forever enjoy coding. So showcase is an important milestone in the program. Take it seriously, practice it, come prepared, because then your showcase will be nice. You will remember, your showcase will be remembered. You will remember the event yourself and you will have a lot of fun, right? So forever enjoy coding and see you in the showcase. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.